WrestleMania is finally here. In the Two versus Brother podcast, we will give our prediction of what we think will happen in day one and day two in WrestleMania 40. Stay tuned. Pedro, we've been looking forward to this week. It's WrestleMania week. We already Raw finished this week. And yes, there's an episode of SmackDown coming through, but we feel comfortable already in our prediction. So what we're going to do here for this week, Pedro, let's we're gonna pick the four biggest matches in WrestleMania. You're probably gonna imagine what they are. So you're gonna go first. We're gonna go by order.
Mm-hmm.
What you think is gonna happen and who you think is gonna win. And then I'll do myself, and then we'll go back and forth until we reach the end. So the first matchup that we're gonna talk about is the brother versus brother. And interestingly, the Two versus Brother podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here. We're gonna talk about two brothers, in
Sure.
which are one member of the bloodline and a former member, the Usos brothers, Jimmy and Jey Uso. Pedro, what do you think is gonna happen, and who you think is gonna win?
Well, look, this is going to be the first bloodline match of the night. It's going to be a very interesting match because from my perspective on this match is very important because yes, The Rock and Roman Reigns are going to be in the main event. There's another bloodline match, but we have a wild card here in this that's always gonna be a part of everything in Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. So we already know that Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso don't like each other. They're very upset about the way that everything had went down with the bloodline. And the most important thing that I need to let everybody know is that the bloodline will get involved. This is something that everybody knows. Now, what will happen, in my opinion, there's gonna be a run in by Solo Sikoa. Just when we think that Jay will pull it out, Solo will show up and make it really hard for Jay to pull out the win. Is Jay gonna win? No. This is gonna be a match that Jay will not win. Jimmy will win, and it will be strong dominance for the bloodline in the first match going into the main event.
Wow. Okay. So you're predicting that they're gonna win. Well, I'm gonna go a little bit different approach here. This matchup has been boiling for months, and basically Jimmy has caused Jay several losses with the
Mm-hmm.
World Heavyweight Title, with the Intercontinental, and in WrestleMania, we have to reach to an end story, to a happy story, and they're gonna. I think this match will be served. I do agree. Solo will be involved in this match. He will be at ringside, and he
Mm-hmm.
will cause distraction. But I think that Jimmy or Jay
Mm-hmm.
will pull it off by maybe a distraction between Solo and Jay. Something's gonna happen, and Jay is going to beat Jimmy.
Okay.
So in this case, the babyface is going to take it.
All right. So you have the baby face going over in this match. I
Yeah.
obviously have it different. And so we already see how everything is gonna go forward for the rest of the night. I told you off air. I think that this is going to be a bad guys night. So in the very beginning of everything of this day, we're gonna see a lot of bad guys winning, and it all culminates at the very top. So we're gonna see The Rock and Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins, and it's very interesting because Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins both are going on a match on both nights. So
Yep.
and both for championships. This is another match that I think that there's going to be another run in by Solo Sikoa. Paul Heyman might just get involved. Everything's going to look. It's going to be a lot of false finishes, a lot of big moments, especially because The Rock is actually wrestling for the first time in years.
Yep.
An official match because he's had little run-ins here and there, but an official match at WrestleMania. This is another one that I believe the bad guys are going to take it. The Rock and Roman Reigns will win, and it's going to be Bloodline rules on night 2.
Wow. I mean, I agree with you. I think this was probably the easiest one to predict. I think The Rock and Roman Reigns will win. Reason number one, The Rock, this is his first match, and for many years. Second, if they're having The Rock here, the big attraction, because the condition is that if Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins win, then there's no bloodline interference, meaning that The Rock cannot show up and cannot do something. And I doubt that WWE will not have The Rock show up at all in day 2. That's your
Yeah.
main attraction. So you need to have The Rock somehow. And the only way to have it somehow is by The Rock and Roman Reigns win. Now,
Well, I do have another alternative, Alfredo, because you just brought that up, but I did want to explain to you that a few nights ago, I think it was like a week ago, Cody Rhodes agreed with the Wise Man to I believe it was Raw and speak to Roman Reigns solo, one man. Obviously, Paul Heyman was there, but he was not really a factor in those situations. And as you saw, Roman Reigns did not keep his promise. But the funny thing is, neither did Cody Rhodes.
yeah, but that's fine. But this is an official contract. You cannot break the rule. The only thing that could happen is that The Rock, as board of director, can override that. I mean, obviously he is the CEO; he can override it, but it will be too much messy booking, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they're just gonna go with The Rock and Roman Reigns. Remember, the point of all of this is for the story to end. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna put all the biggest obstacle for Cody Rhodes to win.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure that this will be the perfect story. That Cody Rhodes had to go through the bloodline, had to go through The Rock, all different interference to finally beat Roman Reigns.
Of
So
course,
I
that's what
think
they
the
want.
only, huh?
Of course, that's what they want. But is he really going to get there? We have a match to talk about before, Fredo.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah. No, and we won't talk about it. But still, my final decision or my final prediction with this is that The Rock and Roman Reigns will win. However, I'm gonna add a tip here. Not only they're gonna win, they're gonna beat up Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins at the end of their WrestleMania of night 1. Why? I feel that they're going to even put more of an odds and will Cody Rhodes, will Seth Rollins, will they even show up for day 2? So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I do think that this will be a dominant victory by them. And that's why we go move into day 2. And we'll talk about Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. This is
Okay.
for the title. Seth Rollins wrestled the night before, got beat up, not healthy. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I'm going to put a little bit of a difference there. I do not think that they're going to be beat up to the extent that you're going to put it. Because if you remember correctly, in my situation, Jay lost, so he is still there, and he's going to be available to help Cody and Seth at the end of the night. He's not going to
So
get
you're
involved in
saying,
the match, but they're
so,
not going to get beat up the same way they got beat up the last time. You know,
okay,
and so I don't. In my scenario, it doesn't happen like that. They stand strong at the end of the night, even though they lost. Now
okay,
going into night 2, the match that we have to talk about is Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. And remember, this is not so much of a bloodline match. Of course, Seth Rollins inserted himself into that situation, and now he has a different situation. He has to come with a Drew McIntyre at full strength. But the big thing here is that we have somebody at ringside in CM Punk that's going to be at the announcer's desk.
Yep.
As he said it himself, CM Punk is going to be in attendance. He's going to be there, and all that needs to happen is a little distraction here and there. And at the end of the night, it could go either way. But this is what I think is going to happen. I believe that Seth Rollins is going to be at the end of the night fighting tooth and nail after, of course, a long night one, and is going to be a situation where CM Punk costs Seth Rollins the championship, not because he wanted to do it, but because unfortunately he got in the way. He wanted to screw Drew McIntyre, but Drew McIntyre found a way to get back at both of them. And of course, Drew McIntyre wins because of CM Punk.
Wow. That's going to be crazy. But let me ask you, let me throw you a curveball here.
Mm-hmm.
Something that nobody has talked about. And this is the mysterious part of all of this. And you probably don't even remember or even know this.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest, he's the Money in the Bank winner. And he still hasn't cashed in to that. Do you think there could be a scenario that Damian Priest can interfere and potentially cash in into the Money in the Bank?
Mm. That's an interesting scenario, Fredo, because then in that case, if we're actually gonna put this out there, because Damian Priest has had that for so long that it's that I swear he carries it around and I forget. But
This is July.
yeah, he's had it since July.
And WWE has been very quiet about it.
Yeah, I don't know, because look, that group is the Judgment Day is a very popular group. I don't know if they're so popular to the point that they need a championship like that, but it sounds like it's very possible that my scenario plays out, but Damian Priest cashes in on Drew McIntyre. And just because of the whole scenario, because the whole thing with Drew McIntyre is that he won and he was a champion when there was no fans in the audience, and now
Yep.
he's going to be a champion with all the fans in the audience for maybe a couple minutes. So
Well,
possible.
thinking about it, the thing is, it's tempting. I've been thinking about it. But this feud between Drew McIntyre is hot right now.
Yeah.
He has been an awesome heel. His talk, and I think by someone having and cash it in from him will make him look weak.
Mm-hmm.
So my think of what's going to happen in this match is that I do agree with you. Drew McIntyre will win due to a distraction by CM Punk. I
Mm-hmm.
think that will happen, but I don't think there's going to be a cash in. Maybe they'll leave it for another moment, but it's just weird because they're being very quiet WWE about it. It's like kind of it reminded me with the whole Seth Rollins when he cashed it in WrestleMania 31. He had the briefcase, but nobody really, you know, thought about the possibility of him doing it. So I think, like you were saying, Drew McIntyre is gonna win thanks to a distraction by CM Punk. It's gonna cost Rollins the match, and that's it.
Oh no, just to keep it interesting, Alfredo. We're like, maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't in the past? I don't know if this has changed over the years. Wasn't there like a time limit on when you could cash in the Money in the Bank? It used to be a whole year, if I remember
Probably the whole
correctly.
year. Probably.
Yeah, but the year isn't up yet. The next big pay per view could be the time that he decides to cash in. And in the next paper, it's weird because if it would have been me, I would have made him cash in at Elimination Chamber or any another or a big match that we knew that is going to be a
Remember,
hellacious.
Seth Rollins hasn't fought. He's been injured,
Been injured.
so he hasn't cashed it in. So you know that's gonna be the main thing. Now he can also cash it in against Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes. That's another scenario people been throwing, but I don't think that's gonna be too much.
No, that's
Yeah,
going to be way too much Gaga, man.
yeah,
I don't think that to rob Cody like that.
yeah. No, I don't think it's gonna happen. It'll be
Yeah.
crazy. So
Mm.
talking about now the main event, year in the making. Last year in WrestleMania 39, Cody Rhodes had Roman Reigns, and thanks to Solo, he lost. He thought he couldn't finish the story. He thought it was over. He went through Brock Lesnar, went through a time through the tag team, won the Royal Rumble, and now is in the main event of WrestleMania with bloodline rules and against Roman Reigns, who's been a champion for 3.5 years. So, Pedro, this is the big moment in this episode. What do you think is going to happen?
All right, Alfredo. Like, this is what I think how it's going to play out. I think that in the beginning of the match, Roman Reigns will come to the ring with Paul Heyman. He's going to come by himself because this is the thing that I want you guys to understand this. Yes, Paul Heyman is there. He's not really a big deal when it comes to distractions or whatever because as The Rock used to call him back in the day, the Walrus, he's not really doing much. So he's going to come by himself. As soon as there's any speculation of anything happening, The Rock, Solo Sikoa are going to the ring. And it doesn't have to be a big thing that they have to run in. No. They'll either come real slow or they'll sit or they stand up there in the by the Titan trunk and come real slow over to see what's going on. And what I believe will happen is when the big moment comes, they're gonna hit the ring and they're gonna start trying to see if they can help Roman Reigns. But as soon as the end of the night happens, it's gonna be everything will turn, and Solo Sikoa will be knocked out of the ring. The Rock will be kicked out because Seth Rollins will be around, and Jey Uso will probably be around. Kind of like a fight. There's the fight that happened that where Cody Rhodes got beat up in the back by The Rock. Everything's gonna be out in front of everybody, and at the end of the night, it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes at the end of the night raising the championship up high, and of course, because he loses, that's where The Rock will turn on Roman Reigns and make sure that he gets beat up, and that's
So,
what Solo Sikoa will do the same thing.
so The Rock will beat up Roman Reigns
Mm-hmm.
and will beat up Solo as well.
Well, The Rock won't beat up Solo, but Solo will beat up Roman Reigns as well.
Oh, so they're gonna all turn on Roman Reigns.
They're gonna all turn on Roman Reigns because he lost.
Okay, I heard that scenario that possibly Solo might join The Rock. Actually, there's been a video that this video that I was seeing today that the trending is that Solo has been kind of like getting away from Roman. Even when they were doing Raw, Solo was always on Roman Reigns' side, but when they were doing, the final thing, he
Mm-hmm.
went to the middle and more closer to the Rock. I don't know if that means anything, but it could be possible.
Okay, tell me what your predictions are.
Here's my prediction. I think this is going to be a little bit more chaotic. First thing first, The Rock will be the guest referee in this match. he's gonna put himself as a guest referee.
Okay.
And during the match, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes will be going back and forth. Obviously, quick count by The Rock, slow count with Cody Rhodes. There's going to be a chaotic moment where possibly Cody Rhodes will be able to do the finisher. The Rock will not count. They're going to go at it back and forth. Solo is going to be at ringside. He's going to try to get involved. And then here's where the brawl happens. When that happens, Jey Uso will show up.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins will show up. And they're going to start fighting at ringside. But one thing that might happen is that The Rock it's going to be the three of them in the ring. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock. Somehow within that, Roman Reigns will hit The Rock by mistake, will knock him out, but then Cody Rhodes is able to do a finisher, or actually, he will knock out The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to knock out Cody Rhodes, but there's no referee. Again, back and forth. Rock being down, Cody Rhodes is able to do a finisher, and then another referee will show up, and instead, the Bloodline is going to knock him out. Another referee out. Then suddenly, more fighting happens. And I think, and this is going back to what I've been seeing, either Stone Cold Steve Austin or John Cena will show up in the main event and will attack The Rock. Somebody else that I don't know who's going to be. That I still haven't been. Even Triple H himself, we don't know. Somebody's going to show up. They're going to eliminate The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes then will be one-on-one with Roman Reigns, will be able to do his finisher, and then another referee will come in and count 1, 2, 3, and it's over.
It's interesting.
Cody Rhodes win. I don't think the end of the Bloodline will be focused that night, because that night will be all about Cody Rhodes. If you have the betrayal to Roman Reigns there, I think that's going to overshadow Cody Rhodes winning. And they want to have that end of WrestleMania celebration with Cody Rhodes with his belt and celebrating. And he's going to win. Bloodline will be down. Roman Reigns will be in shock. And then maybe what you were saying might happen the next night. But for WrestleMania, and again, I don't know if it's Stone Cold, if it's John Cena, or somebody else will interfere and will cost The Rock the match.
That's very interesting that you're saying that, because if I remember correctly, not so long ago, I did read something that Steve Austin was talking that this new WWE with TKO offered him a contract.
Yeah.
So, and somebody that's been really, really like that, the fans have been wanting to come back, and especially the fans in overseas for Crown Jewel really want to see The Rock and really want to see Stone Cold. So that's something that's, and we've seen pretty much the old timers come back for Crown Jewel. We saw Shawn Michaels pretty much come out of retirement for a match over there.
You never know. You never know. I don't know how's going to play out, because it might be too messy, but it's going to be a chaotic match because this is the end. And here's the thing: the WrestleMania is usually the end of one season to another, and this will be the culmination of the Bloodline, the culmination of the Cody Rhodes, and we will move on to a new era. Now, The Rock will still remain heel. I think that's the only thing. The Rock will remain heel because I think this matchup of Cody Rhodes versus The Rock, we will see it in the future. So, but Cody Rhodes will win.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes
WrestleMania.
will win, and The Rock will stay heel because that character's way too over, bro.
Way too over. You can't.
That is
He can't switch.
you
Yeah.
can't switch now because it's so funny because when you hear the crowd, it's like they want to boo him, but they just end up cheering him, and it's like half and half. Uh, and even after all the heinous stuff that he's done lately, and even in the if you really want to like go and talk about everything that goes on in the backstage, how he's been cursing on TV, and he has heat with the boys because of that. It's everything. He's like the perfect heel right
Yeah, WWE can let that situation go. I think they have to continue. I think what they'll do is that Roman Reigns will be out for some time,
now. Mm-hmm.
and then the focus will just be on The Rock.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not
yeah.
afraid of.
Well, WrestleMania is here. We tell everybody, hopefully, we want to hear what's your prediction for WrestleMania. What do you think is going to happen? Will Cody Rhodes be able to finish the story? What's going to happen? This is the best WrestleMania that we have had in a long, long time.